I will give you an overview about the firmware setup of the ESC of the ultra cheap drone build that I'm doing and of the flight controller. And we also have the opportunity to flash a new Betaflight firmware version on it. So let's do this together if you never did this. So basically there is this page escconfigurator.com where you can go for the BLHeli-S firmware to download it and to flash it to your drone. Important, please remove all the props from your drone before you're doing that, and you need to have a battery that has enough power in it to run the quadcopter for some time for flashing it, because the ESC is not powered from the USB connector. So basically what we're doing is we're putting in the battery, then we are adding the USB connection to the drone. Just to mention, it's very important that you use Chrome for doing this, because I think other browsers are not supporting that. What we're then doing is basically reading the settings. I did this. You can do this once again. We see here already the firmware that is flashed on it, so it's BlueJ 018 on 24 kilohertz. So basically to have a little bit less torque and a little bit more efficient flight. We can also quickly take a look if there is new firmware around. So basically firmware, ESJ's, ESC type is given. Firmware, we could use BLHeli-S. We are using BlueJ because of bidirectional D-shot. We want to give the information of the RPM to the ESC back, so that basically it's able to adopt to it. We're using here the lowest possible frequency. Yeah, let's go maybe for the middle frequency. We have a little bit high kV motors for 6S, and I want to try it with 6S, so we can basically do this. So we're going to flash all the ESCs. You see here how it's doing the flashing. It will do it automatically. The base settings, I think you can just keep how they are. In the setup here, important, some motors are reversed. We will check this once again in the Betaflight setup, where we are also flashing the newest firmware version. So we have to wait here a little bit, and then it's done. Just to mention, because it's a BLHeli-S ESC, it has a fixed PWM frequency, which is fine for us. I mean, with more luxury ESCs that are running BLHeli-32, it's possible to have a dynamic PWM frequency, but that's fine. So basically we keep the setup here. It's a freestyle drone, so we have maximum brake power. Motor timing is perfectly fine. Oh yeah, this should be fine. Then we're disconnecting here. Okay, so the ESC is restarting. We can now at this stage remove again the battery, because that's not needed. What I usually do for good measure is to remove then the connector, then close the browser itself. Then we are going for Betaflight. So I just downloaded the latest version of Betaflight Configurator, which we can then open here. It's not currently not necessary to have the battery connected. That we will need when we are taking a look on the motor direction. What I did do now is set already the drone up to, wait a second, I have to take the right device, then we are connecting. What I did already is set up the drone for basically BLHeli for Betaflight 4.3.2 with the standard configuration. So you see also here the drone is correctly moving, so the gyros are working fine. It's not sitting exactly level, but that's not necessary. I calibrated it already. So basically what we can do is just flash the newest firmware, that you also see how this basically works. So what we can do is we can automatically check which flight controller this is. We can use the latest version. So basically we can do a setup in here what we want to flash to the which functionalities you want to flash to the drone itself to do a build configuration. I think we should be fine here. I think it does usually always the standard build. So this is in German, just to mention. So basically, you will have it in English if otherwise you're using English setup. So basically, it's a classical build. I think they call it B Crossfire Ghost. We get everything on the GPS. We don't need the LED strip and stuff like this, but we don't need a custom build. So we're flashing now the firmware. So all the configuration will be deleted again. So we can do this quickly together so that you see how I usually do it. I wrote the UARTs down. This is a little bit a pain always that you know what is on which UART, but this drone is just using analog without smart audio, so that's fine. That won't be an issue. So basically what we need is just to configure the ELRS receiver with Crossfire, having the motor protocol properly set up, and then we are probably good to go. Yeah, and also the OSD. This of course we have also to do. So it takes some time. ELRS receiver is already in VLAN mode, so we're basically just taking the standard values, putting them on it. We're connecting once again, so that's this one. So we have to do a gyro calibration. So basically it doesn't have to be 100% level in Betaflight. That's for other flight software different, but yeah, that's here not the case. What we see here is the gyro was already understood. The accelerometer is also recognized, and we have a barometer. How I said before, I will probably add a GPS later on for doing range testing with it, endurance flights, and also, I mean, for my personal use later on, I think it's a good idea. So then we have go to the configuration tab. Still everything looks fine here. UART 6 state configured. Maybe configuration stays here. So we are going to configuration of PID loop frequency gyro. I think 2 kilohertz PID loop frequency is fine. It has a really nice gyro in here. Just to mention what is always important, to take a look on if the drone is correctly moving. So if it's going forward, to the side, if this is corresponding to your movement basically. And obviously if it's level sitting, which it wasn't here. So this is fine. We do the base configuration. Unfortunately, this all is in German. Yeah, I should have changed it somehow to English. GPS, we're not doing what we said. Air mode is always on. That's fine. Okay, this we're keeping how it is. We don't have to do. Fail-safe, always important. If we don't have GPS, we should just let it drop. That's a safe thing to do. Nothing else should be done here. Then what do we have else? We have to go to the receiver. It's via UART, Crossfire, telemetry is turned on. I think everything stayed here the same. I will just try if even, I mean, it's interesting. It probably kept the configuration. So it's not connecting here because we're already in VLAN mode. We will take a look on in 1 second. Just disconnect the drone and just check if the modes, yeah, the modes are not here. So this we have to do once again. So I'm disconnecting quickly, and yeah, we are connecting again. And then we can take a look on yeah, the controller setup. So basically we are connected. Okay, the motors we have also to adjust. So we want to go to D-shot. It's bidirectional D-shot. We accept it, and we are saving and starting new. That's important for having less vibrations, having a better flight experience, that basically the flight controller gets information back from the motor, so at which speed they are turning. We'll later on take a look on the motors once again. Just wanted to adjust it. So basically here we see that the remote is working how it should. It's also set up that basically channel 5 always goes up, and I have a separate arming switch there. That's some kind of old relic that was implemented in ELRS. I'm just keeping it how it is. I think, yeah. That's fine. So basically what we have then to do is to adjust the modes. So we are adding arming mode. It's automatically recognizing which channel you're moving when here is at first auto. So basically you push the button on the remote and then you're arming here. Perfectly fine. What then I'm usually also doing is adding angle and horizon mode. That's what I usually use for starting, not for landing. I'm usually landing in acro mode. So basically you add an area here, so it's recognizing the switch. So we're adding here angle mode, and then we're also adding horizon mode, and then basically when we're out of here where no mode is defined, then we are on in acro mode. What we then can also do is add a beeper, which I will add on this button. Wait a second. It's on auto. Let's see which button is already. Yeah, this one I can use. That's usually for failsafe. I will just keep it for this. Turtle mode I'm usually not using. That's so fine. Don't forget to save. Always save. If you're going to a different page, then you lost your progress, what you did here. So now we can quickly take a look on the motors. Now important once again. Connect a battery without having the props on it. That's not a good idea to have the props on the drone. Otherwise you will get into trouble. Then you see here the directions, how it's set up. I'm usually going with the standard direction. So what you can then do is like go step by step for each motor. So the lower right motor should now turn outwards, and it's basically doing the wrong thing. So we can do together so that's motor 3. So we have to do a new mapping, which is fine. So I can show it to you. So we basically say we want to do a new mapping. So we say, yes, we understand the risk. So basically I say, this is the turning motor here. That's the turning motor here. That's this one and that one. And we are saving this now. And now it's setting up once again. Now we're connecting. Boom, there we are. So once again, we're checking the motors, how the direction is now. So now number 1 should turn, and it's turning in the right direction. Important, we don't see errors here. If you see errors, then you would have issues with bidirectional D-shot, so it's not correctly sending the information back to the flight controller, but that's okay. Here in this case, no issues there. So number 3 is turning also the correct direction, and number 4, there we are, that's it. So we can stop the motors, and that's it basically. So the motor setup is done. Now we're going to the OSD. I know other people are typically using there some kind of presets. It is also very strange that it got very large in this setup. Yeah, I just have my MacBook here, my MacBook Air with a smaller screen. Yeah, so basically what I recommend is to have basically what was used, capacity that was used of the battery. I put it typically to the lower left corner. What I usually also add in there, I mean, I'm not used to having it in German, that's interesting. So it's basically how much current it's drawing here. That's also fine. That we need, it's actually also a good idea to have the mode. Let's take a look. Flight mode. Flight distance and stuff like this is only working if you obviously have a GPS connected to it, which we don't have. I think what is for us really important is the voltage. So basically that we have the average battery voltage. So you don't want to go below 3.5 volts. So basically that's what we are taking with us here. So the battery voltage comes here in the lower right corner, and then boom, we're already done. That's it. Important, we have to save. Another thing what usually you have to do is basically add the current fonts. We can actually upload them too. Important, you have to have the battery connected to your drone just to be able to upload the fonts, and then it's restarting again, and then we are basically done. So that was the Betaflight setup of my ultra cheap drone project with an ELRS receiver, OSD motor setup. Yeah, that's it. See you then in the next video.